Hey, Guru Nation, welcome back to the Clinical Trials Guru.com. Today I'm joined by a special guest, Ashley Onya from Alpha Research Associates in Dayton, Ohio. This is a customer success story. Okay, we actually have an interesting story, and we're going to spend the next 15 minutes just talking about Ashley, how she got started in research, and then how she's been able to be successful in her first 6 months. It wasn't always easy, a lot of ups and downs, but you've been doing this for about 6 months now, right?
We are officially in month 8.
Month eight,
Uh,
okay.
we
Okay.
yeah, we got our little office here going in January.
Okay, cool. So month eight, you've been officially going, and yeah, we'll just get right into it. So why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and how you got started in research?
I'm Ashley, and unfortunately, my partner Kelvin is at home resting. He just got back from a road trip, but
Okay.
my background has been in EMR and education. And so Kelvin's background was in EMR as well.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
we're looking at EMR, for anyone who doesn't know, is electronic medical records. And we were looking to get out of that field because it's not as reliable and dependable as it used to be a consultant. And so we started looking into becoming CRAs.
Right.
And I mean, that was the plan. We were going to find some classes or do what we have to do to become CRAs. And I just so happened to log into YouTube and click, how to become a CRA. He was telling me all about it. So I was just like, let me see what this guy's talking about. And one of your videos came up. And so I watched it. And then there was another video, and they went from how to become a CRA to just kind of like owning a clinic. And so I was kind of intrigued and watched it to see what kind of degree you had to have, or, the hoops that you had to jump through. And then you gave out your phone number. And I was like, there's no way this is this guy's phone number. There's no way. And I wrote it down real quick, and I called it, and you picked up. And I was like, now, mind you, I had just watched like 3 hours of video. I
Right.
was like, oh, like I expected it to go to some voicemail, this is Dan, leave a message, but no, you picked the phone up.
When I can, I do. It doesn't always happen, but when I can, I do. And yeah, people usually are surprised. They're like, "Oh, you're not going through a screener?" No, that goes to my cell.
Yeah. And
Yeah, and I
it,
still remember that conversation. So you were calling me about the CRA Academy, and then we talked probably for about 20 minutes or so, maybe longer. And I said, at the end of the conversation, I said, Ashley, I think you should actually own your own research clinic. I
Mhm.
don't think CRA is for you, and it takes a certain kind of individual to actually become a CRA. And for some people, it's great. I mean, they make a lot of money. It is a really good career. It's safe. You get to travel a lot. But I got the sense that you were more of an entrepreneur. And I told you, hey, a lot of our clients, because we do consulting for clients, people who want to start their own sites, they actually are CRAs. And they don't want to be CRAs forever because there's a limit to how much you can make as a
Right.
CRA. I mean, the good ones, if you're an independent contractor, you can make about 300K a year, right? But there's really, like, if you want to make like half a million a year, you're not going to do that being a CRA. You've got to have a business. So for you, I recommended starting a site. So how quickly did you actually make that decision?
Did we have two other conversations after that, or maybe another one? Because I was so scared. I was so whatever. I was just a little nervous about it. But I think we had a couple other conversations after that, and that was in December. And by January, we had our LLC.
Yeah, you moved quick. You
By
moved
the
quick.
end of December, the LLC paperwork was done. January, we were in. I had found a doctor, and we partnered with him and cleared out where I'm sitting in my office right now. It was just his
Hmm.
old medicine room. We cleared that out, and in January we started.
Now, how did you find a doctor? Because a lot of our clients are in that same situation. That's like step one. You got to find a doctor because from there, you're going to know whether you need to rent your own office space or whether you can piggyback off of the doctor's own office space. So, how did you already know this doctor or did you just
Yeah.
go out?
So my situation was, call it luck, call it blessing, call it whatever. My family doctor is kind of a family friend. We've known him for years. And so I sent him a text because he's crazy busy. He sees over 8,000 patients. I mean, his office is packed every day. So I shot him a text and asked if he'd ever done research and if he ever, what did he think about it? And he said, yeah. And so I said, all right, well, call me when you're done with the day and we'll talk. And so I told him what the idea was. And he was a little, okay, well, call me on such and such a day and we'll take it from there. That was on like a Wednesday. I remember this because he told me to call him that next Tuesday or something. I had to wait almost a week. He actually called me on Sunday and said, okay, research. Because I think he went back and kind of did his own research about it. And he'd been a sub-I and a PI before. And so I think that kind of wet his palate. And he called me back and said, okay, let's meet tomorrow and let's discuss it. And we talked about it and here we are.
Yeah, and you had like all the right ingredients. I mean, you came from a business background, you're running your own business, you know what it takes. You know that working for yourself, you actually have to work a lot harder than you would working for someone else because you're doing everything, wearing many hats. Sales is huge. Most people are afraid of sales. So you had that going for you. You had a good relationship with this physician, going like several years or longer. And then he had a lot of patients. So it's like the perfect situation. Not to mention where you're located, Dayton, Ohio,
There's
right?
not many sites.
You're getting like every study we're applying for. It's amazing. But it wasn't always easy, right? Like how,
Um,
I mean,
uh,
how soon did you get your first study?
we got our first study in March, but we didn't see payment from
Yeah.
our first study until July, the
Right.
end of July, the last week, 2 days before the last day of the month is when we got paid. We
And
got a
that's
little,
so important. 'Cause, like
yeah,
guys, people out there watching, okay, she had everything going, like perfect storm,
yep,
everything, right? And she still had to wait a really long time to get paid.
yep,
So if you don't have all the right ingredients, it's going to take you even longer. I mean, she literally had everything going for her, and it took her that long to see her first paycheck. Where you, I mean, we prepared you for this, but
yeah,
it's still, you still have to go through it. It's different
yeah.
between being told about it to actually living it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, everything, I guess to everybody listening, everything Dan says is true. Everything is right. You're going to wait about 6 months to get a paycheck. You're going to think something's wrong. I can't do this. You're going to get nervous. You're going to be scared about the SIV. You're going to be scared about this and that. Every single thing. And it's one of those things until you go through it. Hindsight is 2020. And I'm like, oh yeah, Dan did say. Oh yeah, he did say. Oh yeah, and that's what it is. So just go with the process. Trust
Mm.
Dan. Trust the process. Trust what they're telling you, and you will see. You'll see great results. I mean, this is. I've never seen a business. Um, I'm thinking maybe by the end of the summer, maybe by the end of the fall, we should be at our business have made six figures.
Wow. Okay. And
Uh,
you've broken even already, right?
yeah, yeah,
A long time ago.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
we're, for those of you watching in the future, we're now in basically September 1st. It's August 31st.
yeah,
That's amazing, Ashley. And we were extra optimistic with you because I knew, like when I heard Dayton, Ohio, I was like, all right, we've got to work with this
yeah,
person. This is perfect. Some of our clients, we tell them you got to wait 12 months. All right, like these Florida sites, these
yeah,
California sites, these Texas sites, you've got to wait 12. It's not 6 months, it's 12 months, right? And it's way more competitive.
yeah. So these markets where there's not many, and we're actually in a very large medical facility, and there's one other research clinic. It's a large clinic here, but we don't bump heads at all. We've
Mm-hmm.
never ran into a situation where we're pulling from the same clientele. I mean, there's so many studies. There's just so it's the supply and demand is so perfect.
And you know
It's
what?
so
It is an amazing location. I'm jealous. You know what's also cool about this? Like, because you came at it from the CRA perspective. If you ever, like, let's say you run this clinic for 10 years, right? If you ever get tired of it or you just want it to run on its own and you want to be a CRA because let's say you need to make 200K a year on the side, you can do that for a year. You'll get hired. You could give yourself whatever title you want. It's your business. So when you go out there and apply to be a CRA, you can do that too. So I tell all of our clients, if you want to be a CRA, you can do that. If you are a CRA and want to own your site, you can do that too. It works both ways.
yep. It's that's something Kelvin has always said. You know, he loves that he's learning the business because if something drastic were to happen, I mean, did we have our perfect net already? I
Right.
could definitely be a monitor.
Right.
You know,
And then
so
do you still have your other business going, the one that you were working on before you started this?
EMR, no, kind of, but no. I haven't been out on a project in
Okay.
a long time. And I had to go through. I had to make a sacrifice. I had to just decide. You know, bills started piling up, and I ate ramen noodles a lot. um,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but we made it work.
You've got to
And
trust the process. So
yeah,
walk us through. I know you got to go. We got a couple more,
oh,
4 more minutes. Your first. Everyone's scared of their first site selection visit. So,
oh God, I was so nervous. I wanted to throw up the night before.
yeah,
So
me too. Before mine.
I just knew that this person was coming to find something. That was my main concern was they were going to ask questions to catch us up or they were looking around. This office looks too new. These chairs look too new. They need to run studies. And so when they come in, they're coming into a space to see your space. The monitor was so sweet, so nice. Um, she asked the questions that you said they were going to ask. I took her on a tour of our facility, and I mean, there was no, she wasn't here to catch us up. She wasn't here to trip us up. She wasn't here to find something. She was here to see where the study would be done, and our first SIV was our first contract.
Okay. Good. So you were one for one, and now how many studies do you have now? 8 months later.
8 months later, we have one, two, three, four, five.
Wow. Yeah, you've been getting a lot, and then lots in the pipeline too.
Yeah,
And by the way, that was a slow period. We're actually seeing a lot more activity now this second half of the year. So,
scares me.
yeah, yeah. Well, now you can be more selective about which studies you're gonna take.
Okay. Oh,
And
six. I forgot one. Six. Yeah.
yeah, see, there's a lot. Okay, and then as far as because a lot of people want to know, so you knew your PI for a while. What kind of deal did you work out? I mean, if you feel like sharing, like just generic.
We worked out a deal that is still being worked out.
Okay, okay.
Don't be like me. Make sure you get a contract so that down the line. See, what happened was we're two kids with a dream, and at first he was happy to get just about anything. So the deal we etched out was 15% equity in exchange for he gets PI fees for the studies that he's the PI on, and we get office space and his database. And so now that checks have started coming in, and he sees, oh, this is a
Huge
little bit,
potential.
this is a little bit better. Yeah. So now we're back to the drawing board with him, and we'll deal with that in a. I don't want to lose the company. I don't want to lose my company. Being greedy. But I do have a set of principles. But nonetheless, he sees that the potential is way more than what he thought it would be, and he wants a little bit bigger piece of the pie. But he in return for that, he is almost wanting to do this exclusively, get a nurse practitioner for his private practice, and run this almost exclusively. So down the line, I'm sure our deal will change again when he does that. And not to mention, 8 months out, tomorrow we sign a lease on our own suite.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, because we need our we just don't we have too much going on. If I could spin this around, we've got boxes and all this stuff
Okay.
from different studies, and we just
Wow.
out of space. And
I
so it's
know
a
the feeling.
yeah, it's a great it's a problem, but it's a good problem. But we have a beautiful space down the hall, and it's still in a great location. We're right down the hall from our PI,
Hmm.
so
That's
we're in a
good.
good position.
You're in a great situation. Thank you very much for sharing, Ashley. And do you have a LinkedIn? Like, if people want to network with you, what do they do?
I do. Let me
Or
look.
anything, whatever you prefer. Like,
Facebook. If you go on Facebook and type in Alpha Research Associates, you can find me. You can also find me on Facebook at Ashley Anya, ASHLEYONYIA, and ask me any questions. I talked on the phone with someone who was thinking about doing the same thing we did. I will tell you guys, I was a skeptic. I was nervous. I was scared, but Guru Nation, this is real.
thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, not everyone's gonna have the success you did. I mean, you had like everything going for all the ingredients were perfect, but for some it might take longer. Some might fail. I mean, not everyone has your mindset, right? Some
Yeah,
people are just employees. In fact, we partnered with someone who the deal didn't go through because they were not willing to sell, right? Like the first project was find a doctor. I'm not going to do it for you. I need to see if you can do this. Still hasn't happened, and it's just not for everybody. So you've got to know
doctors want
yourself.
research. Doctors want to do research. Don't be afraid to talk to doctors. Doctors they need money,
Hmm.
especially the way things are set up now. They do, and we're actually looking at partnering with a behavioral health center here in town that is strapped.
Ashley and Guru Nation, lots of CNS, central nervous system stuff coming out. I talked to someone, and this is my bread and butter is CNS. Like, I'm really excited. We talked to someone yesterday from a big CRO, and he said he's never seen this amount of activity in the CNS pipeline in about 7 years. So
Wow.
if you, yeah, that I like, I'm glad we actually did this interview because you should go for that, because that's like 17, 18, 19, 2020. You're gonna be golden, and those budgets are second highest only to oncology. So those are you'll like that, Ashley. That's gonna be
Okay.
a good move on your part.
I'm gonna push that, but it is sales, and it's funny being you. I think it was you that were telling me the difference between working in the business and on the business. And when you first open up, you're doing both, and it's really weird. It's some days I'm have patient interaction and I'm doing visits and I'm doing all that, and then other days I'm a salesperson. So you got to be flexible.
Yeah.
But this is your business. If you work it and you get on the phone and you hustle and do what you got to do. Look, we just had a study. It has taken me 2 months to find a family practice to run this study, and they just signed the documents yesterday. But that's persistence. It's calling every week and not being afraid to do it. That's
Yeah.
what you got to do. So
You should be so lucky to get hung up on a few times. I mean, some people don't even answer their phones,
right. So
right?
just keep pushing.
Good, Ashley. We're gonna have links underneath the YouTube page, and once you see this on the blog post to your Alpha Research Associates Facebook page and your Facebook page. And I appreciate it, Ashley. Let's do this again, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ashley, and thank you for watching Guru Nation. We will talk to you later. Bye bye.